Hello everyone, I am Priyanka Singh. I am a certified teacher. My qualification is I am MSc Botany, B.Ed and CSIR NET. Here I am going to present or share my knowledge of botany with you. And my today's topic is megasporogenesis in flowering plants. What is megasporogenesis and why you should learn it? What is the importance of studying megasporogenesis? Because if you want to understand the fertilization in flowering plant or life cycle in flowering plant, you should know what is megasporogenesis, what is microsporogenesis, and what is male gamete, what is female gamete, and how and when they will fertilize each other, and what happens after fertilization. So this is the important topic of life cycle of fertilization of flowering plants. So let's get started our today's topic. Here I am showing you this slide for your revision, so you can revise all the important parts of flower including androecium and gynoecium, which are male and female reproductive parts of flower. Revise it. Here this slide is showing the anther. You can say this is anther and this is the transverse section of anther. Here you can see 4 chambers or locule. Inside these locules, these tiny pollen grains are formed. These tiny pollen grains are formed by the process of microsporogenesis. Why microsporogenesis? Because pollen grains are also called as microspores and their formation is called as microsporogenesis inside the anther. So I am telling you this because I am going to teach you megasporogenesis. So it's important for you to know, like megasporogenesis, there is a process called microsporogenesis which is happened in the anther of male flowering part of the flower. Here I am showing you the slide in which you can see the structure of a carpel. Why? Because inside the carpel, inside the ovary, you can see many tiny globular structure which are called as ovules. Ovules are also called as megasporangium. Why? Because inside the ovule, megaspore will be formed. And so this ovule is also called as megasporangium, and the process of formation of megaspores from the megaspore mother cell, mother cell inside the megasporangium is called as megasporogenesis. So ovule is megasporangium, and inside the ovule megaspore will be formed from the megaspore mother cell. Megaspore mother cell is also called as MMC, megaspore mother cell. So always remember that after fertilization, ovary will form fruit and ovules will form seeds. See, this is the mature structure of an ovule. We saw in previous slide, we saw that there are so many tiny ovules inside the ovary. This is the structure of one mature ovule. If you see one ovule inside the any lens, you will see this structure of ovule. Here you can see the ovule is surrounded by integument or protective covering called outer integument or inner integument. This is the covering, and where this covering is not present, that pore or opening will be called as micropyle, where the integument is absent. The opposite pole of the micropyle will be called as chalaza, and inside the integument there are mass of cells which will be called as nucellus. Mass of cells inside the integument will be called as nucellus, and from these nucellar cells one cell will behave as megaspore mother cell, and from this megaspore mother cell embryo sac, you can see the green structure, embryo sac will form. It means inside the ovule there are cells called nucellus. Inside the cells of nucellus one cell will form embryo sac. So you should always remember, don't be confused what is embryo sac, what is female gametophyte. It's very important, and I will tell you in my further slide what is female gametophyte and what is embryo sac. So we can see in my slide, the ovule is attached to the placenta by a stalk called funicle. This is funicle, ये stalk है. Body of ovule fuses with funicle in the region called hilum. With the hilum, body of ovule fuses with funicle. Thus, hilum represents junction between ovule and funicle. Junction. Each ovule has one or two protective coverings called integuments. Integument is present on all over surface of the ovule except a small opening called micropyle. Opposite to micropylar end is chalaza, representing the basal part of ovule. Enclosed within the integument is mass of cells called nucellus. Cells of the nucellus have abundant reserve food material. Located inside the nucellus is the female gametophyte or embryo sac. It means embryo sac or female gametophyte is similar term, that is not different. Embryo sac is also called as female gametophyte, always remember that. Here I am showing you a slide of a slightly different ovule. This is all the parts of ovule here is same, its orientation is different from the previous ovule. It's like hanging, and that the previous one was erect. It's only difference. Other parts of ovule is same here. You can see integuments, nucellus, hilum, funicle, but inside this ovule you can see this picture very minutely. In this picture the structure of embryo sac is given here. In the previous slide the structure of embryo sac was not defining, it was represented by green color, but here you can see the inner structure of embryo sac. And you can see here antipodal cells, secondary nucleus, egg cell, synergids. These cells are inside the embryo sac, and how they will form we are going to see. You can see here that one cell of nucellus towards micropylar end will behave as megaspore mother cell. See this one cell which behave like megaspore mother cell is given here. Now this cell will divide by meiosis or reductional division, and what happen after meiosis? One cell will divide into 4 cells and chromosome number will be reduced to half. It means if the megaspore mother cell had 2n chromosome number, the 4 cell or tetrad will have only 1 n number of chromosome. They become half, the chromosome number become half. So, after meiosis, the megaspore mother cell will divide in 4 cells called megaspore tetrad, and their chromosome number will be n, half of their mother cell. Here you can see how the megaspore will behave. After the 4 megaspore will form after meiosis, one of them will behave as functional megaspore sorry, and rest of the 3 will be degenerated. They will not do anything, they will degenerate. One will behave as functional megaspore. Here you can see 2 nuclei, but inside the functional megaspore there will only be 1 nuclei. After division, you can see here there are 2 nuclei. It is after division, mitotic division, not meiosis. Here only mitosis will happen, not meiosis. One nucleus of megaspore, functional megaspore, is dividing into 2 nuclei by mitosis. After second nuclear division, mitotic nuclear division, 2 nuclei will form 4 nuclei, and after third mitotic division, first, second, third, 4 nuclei will divide into 8 nuclei. Total 8 nuclei are here, but one thing is that there is no cell wall formation till yet. All the nuclei are present in one single functional megaspore. After 8 nuclei will form, their cell wall formation will start, and the cell will arrange themselves in a unique fashion, not in random fashion, in a definite unique fashion. And what is that arrangement? 3 cells will be formed towards micropylar end, 3 cells, and 3 cells will be formed towards chalazal end, that will be called as antipodals. Towards micropylar end, from the 3 cells, 1 cell will behave as egg, and this is very important. Egg is the female gamete. It will take part in fertilization with male gamete from pollen grain. So, egg is female gamete. 2 cells closing the egg is called as synergids. 2 cells around the egg will be called as synergids. These are synergids, and they have filiform apparatus. Filiform is finger-like or finger-like projections. Why they will have finger-like projections? Because due to finger-like projections, they will be able to direct the pollen tube towards the egg cell and help in fertilization. 2 nuclei in the center will not fuse till fertilization. They will fuse after fertilization or at the time of fertilization and will form secondary nucleus. Sorry, before fertilization they will not fuse. And 3 cells towards the chalazal end is called as antipodal. There is not much distinct work of antipodals, but synergids take part in fertilization. Here this structure is shown here, but inverted. Micropylar end is showing here and chalazal end or antipodals is showing here. This is the same structure, but the orientation is different. Orientation is reverse. Here you see micropylar end, synergids, these are finger like projections, one egg cell which is in between synergids, 2 polar nuclei, and this is central cell. 3 cells are towards chalazal end, 3 cells are towards micropylar end. So, one big remaining cell will be called as central cell. This is big remaining cell is central cell, and this central cell will have 2 nuclei called as polar nuclei, which will form at the time of fuse at the time of fertilization. So, how many nuclei are present here? 8 nuclei. How many cells are present here? 7 cells. How? 3 towards telogen, 3 towards microphylla, 6, and 1 is central cell, yani 7 cell, 8 nucleate. So, the female gametophyte or embryo sac of flowering plants have 7 celled 8 nucleate structure. 7 celled 8 nucleate structure. You can see here I have written the female gametophyte or embryo sac is 7 cell 8 nucleate structure. This is the process of megasporogenesis in flowering plants. So, we can do a quick recap what we have learned till here. Carpel, the female reproductive part of flower, has 3 parts: stigma, style and ovary. Ovary is also called megasporangium. Formation of megaspores from megaspore mother cell is called megasporogenesis. Megaspore mother cell divides by meiosis and form 4 megaspore, in which only one will be functional and rest will degenerate. Functional megaspore divides mitotically and form 8 nucleate 7 celled female gametophyte or embryo sac. Remember, female gametophyte or embryo sac is one term, it is not different. So, this is the for today. We will meet in my next video. Till then, thank you, bye.